Graph the equation by plotting points. The first points that we want to find are the x and y intercepts. Let's recall that in order to find the x-intercept on any graph, we'll plug in y is equal to 0 and solve for x. In order to find the y-intercept on any graph, we'll plug in x is equal to 0 and solve for y. So let's begin with the x-intercepts, and we're going to copy our equation down, but we'll plug in 0 for y, which is to the left of the equal sign, and x is the variable that we want to try to solve for or figure out who is the x that makes that happen. When we plug in 0 for y, we see we get a quadratic equation. And this quadratic equation can be solved by factoring. This is the difference of squares, and it factors into x plus 1 times x minus 1. We can now set each of these factors equal to 0 and solve them individually for x to get x is equal to -1 and x is equal to +1. So on this graph, we're actually going to have two x-intercepts. The first is the ordered pair -1, 0, and the second is the ordered pair 1, 0. Let's start a table of values to keep track of our ordered pair solutions. We just determined that x is equal to -1 causes the y value to be 0, and x is equal to +1 causes the y value to be 0. Now let's go back and find the y-intercepts. To determine the y-intercept, we're going to plug in x is equal to 0 in our equation and solve for y. So again, we recopy the equation down. This time we're holding on to the y variable, that's what we're wanting to solve for, and we'll plug 0 in for x, so we open up a hole for that quantity and plug in 0. This one just collapses down to being y is equal to 0 minus 1, or y is equal to -1. So the y-intercept is the ordered pair, 0 for the x-coordinate and -1 for the y-coordinate. So let's take that over to our table of values. When x is equal to 0, the y-coordinate turned out to be -1. Let's go ahead and start plotting those points. We have the ordered pairs 0, -1. We have the ordered pairs 1, 0, and -1, 0, so we'll plot these and label all of these ordered pairs on our graph. The directions also said to find at least two other ordered pair solutions and then use all of those ordered pairs to graph the equation. Because of how this equation is set up, it's going to be easier for me to just pick x values and plug them in. So let's let x is equal to 2 to determine what the corresponding y value would be. So we'll write down y is equal to, and we'll open up a hole for the x, square that, and subtract 1 from it. So we'll plug in x is equal to 2 into that x quantity. And then the corresponding y value would be 4 minus 1, or 3. So the ordered pair solution that results from this scenario is the ordered pair where x is 2 and y is 3. So let's plot that point when x is equal to 2, y is equal to 3. And one more time, let's now plug in the x value -2. Again, we keep the y variable. We're trying to figure out who the corresponding y would be. So we open up a hole for the x, which is then going to be squared, and then subtract 1 from that. We're going to plug -2 into that hole and then simplify. -2 quantity squared is 4 minus 1, and we get 3 again. So the ordered pair solution that results from this scenario is that x is equal to -2 and y is equal to 3. So let's plot that ordered pair on our Cartesian plane. Let's also include those ordered pairs on our table of values. And now that we have a couple of points, we can see that the overall shape of this graph is going to be a parabola.